Hello guys, welcome to part 2 of bet prediction validation model. Um so this is the project. As you can see, if you follow the GitHub link you clone it, this is probably what you get for now, because I'm currently working on phase 2, so I'll be probably adding more things to this directory. But I want to document and walk you guys through the data scraping for the training and the testing data for this video. I'm going to quickly skim through it. There is a whole lot I have to cover. I am currently working on phase 2 of the project, where the plan is to allow users to send their bet slips, like their history, the bet slips, as images. And then I'm working with um, this engine called Tesseract, right? And what it does is that it converts the text in an image to plain text. Okay, so the idea is that users will submit their Betway slips, and then I scrape all that information from the image, and then I create a training data, and then I train models that would be tuned for that would be more personalized for users. I don't know if that makes sense, but when I get to that place, in terms of when I start creating videos for that particular side of the project, it would make more sense. So yes, so this is the scraping folder, and then this is the training data. So as I said previously, we are taking data from forbet.com and then Sofascore. Okay, we are going to scrape data from those two websites and then merge the data and then create our training data in our database. Okay, so um so this is the script that I'm going to run to scrape data from forbet.com. um So you already know the requirements: Python 3.12. I'm using 3.12. Selenium, sklearn, pandas, SQL alchemy. This is for the database, and this is for regex. Um, I'm going to quickly skim through. So if there's anything you don't understand, you can comment in the comments down below. So this is basically to install certain packages, certain libraries, sorry, and then this is to import the libraries. So this is I'm using Chrome driver. So this is the code to initialize and then to target the website you want to scrape. Okay. When you run this, it would open a website, and I would implore you guys to make sure that you maximize the website when it opens. So let me just try and run this. I'll just run this part of the code and not the whole code, just to show you what I mean by maximizing the website. So when you run this, let's just wait for it to come. This is the website. It opens, right? So you have to make sure you maximize it, because depending on how they structured their website, if you don't maximize it, the scraping will not work, because it would be targeting a different class name. Okay, so if the window is minimized, the class name it would be targeting might be different. So make sure you maximize that window, and then you carry on with the script. Okay, so we're running this, which it is going to find the elements and then scrape the data for the table. So as you can see, this is the forbet.com, and this whole portion is what we are scraping. So once you are done with that, you can, so as you can see, this is the data we get using the Chrome driver. Okay, now the season is done, so you won't get the upcoming matches. That will be in a the season is done, so you won't get the upcoming matches for the test data. Okay, so that's basically it. So I'll only show you the scraping for the training data. So once you quit the driver, you can see that that window is closed. So this is basically it. This is how the data looks like. Okay, so as you can see, we got extra information which does not deal with Premier League. I'm focusing only on Premier League for now. And I want to show you guys something. So you would see that most of the information is separated by /n. /n just means a new line. Okay, so when you get to this part, you see that all the data are crammed together. So /n 532027, that part is the probability. So if I open forebet.com, you will notice that this is the part that is crammed together. So instead of dividing, so /n 53 /n 20 /n 27, they put it all together. So we would have to clean that scrape data ourselves, right? We'll use regex. So if you follow along, you follow a couple of things. Let me skip all this part. I'll quickly run through the code. I don't want to waste too much time. You can go through it yourself. So this is the regex. This is the part that we used. So we need to match the pattern and then replace with what we want. So the idea was that we would group this n 53 20 27. We would get groups within them. So it's group 1 will be 53, which is the home team win probability, and then 20 will be group 2, right? So we use the regex to get those different groups. There were 9 of them, and then once we match the pattern, we would substitute this whole pattern, this whole text, with /n and then the first group, then /n and then the second group. So as I said, the 53 will be the first group, the 20 will be the second group, the 27 will be the third group, the 1 will be the fourth group, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then once we get that pattern, we would replace this whole thing with /n group 1 /n group 2 /n group 3, and so on. So let me run this code and show you the final results. Where was I? Sorry. So yeah, I'm going to run this. I've already run this, and then so as I said, so we created this function to match the patterns and then divide the strings into groups, and then later we would replace that whole string with this regex that puts a /n before each individual group. Okay, so that's what this function replace completed matches does. And we ran that function, and then as you can see, we put a /n between 53, /n between 20, /n between 27. So now in this form, we can now split the data by /n. Okay, so that's what we do here. Split the data by /n. Let's print yes, let's print this one. So this is how our data would become, and then in this form we can easily create new columns and then place all this index, these index into their various columns, right? Straightforward. And boom, so we get this data, we get everything it's in its column. Okay, and we have the scoreline prediction, we have everything correct. Okay, so what's next is, as you can see, we are going to train a model, and we are taking data from different locations. So some might conflict in terms of strings, right? As now in Forebet, for example, Manchester United, is this is how it looks like in Forebet from forbet.com. But then when you scrape Sofascore, it's Man United. It's not Manchester. So we want to make sure that we don't run into problems like that over time. So we have to change the strings to labels, numerical labels, which can be which can make things easier for our model. Okay, so as I said, from Sofascore it's Man United, and we are going to merge the data from Sofascore with the data from Forebet, so we don't want any problems, right? So we would make sure that we convert all that information to team labels, and that's what we have here. So we have a function to help us do that. So the rest is just feature engineering, where we are mapping labels, cleaning the data, splitting date and time. Um, okay, so this is also an important part of the script, where uh, we have to separate the results. Okay, the results of the match. So you remember, if you look at forbet.com, right, the goal is that we want to know if this tip or this prediction, if it was a success, or if it's red, it's a failure. So the problem is, for humans it's color coded, but for the machine, the model, we would need to create a new column where we would annotate this whole row as success. Uh, we would where we would notate this whole row as a success or a loss. Okay, so for a human being it's easy to know that this is green, but for a machine we would have to create a whole column to represent this green as 1 and then a red as 0. And the way we go about it is that we compare um the team to win. If it's a home team, we have to compare it with the final results. So if you said the home team is going to win, we check the final results and we validate that prediction. Okay, so we check if that final result is indeed favors the home side. If it doesn't, then it will be the opposite way around. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you check the code, how we go about it is that we first split the full-time results, the score, into home team score line and then away team score line, and then we look at the team to win prediction. Okay, so the team to win was, if it's a 1 is the home team, if it's a 2 is the away team, if it's an X it's a draw. Okay, so if it's 1, then we check the full-time score, and then we check if the home team score line is bigger than the away team. If the away team is bigger than the home team, then it means the away team won. If it's equal, then it means it's a draw. So it's simple as, so we create a function, and then we run these cells before I move on. We create a function that will create our y, our outcome, right? Our outcome column. So what it does is that it it checks the team to win prediction column, and then it maps. So it's the home team. If you say the home team is going to win, then it means that the home team has to be greater than the away team score, right? The final result. If you said the away team win, then so if these um if these conditions pass, then we append with a y for that column. If not, then a 0. So if they pass, then it means that the prediction from the website was a success. If not, then the prediction from the website was a failure. So moving on, let me run this. We look at the new column created. We are getting a 1. Let me see what's wrong. Let me run this. So okay, so as you can see, the prediction results you can now get. So let me open Forebet. So the first 2 were success, right? They're green, and then the next 2 were not. So 1 1 0 0, then 1 0 0. So as you can see, it's 1 1 0 0 1 0 1. Okay, so it follows along perfectly, just like that. So the next things are just basically making sure that our columns are in the right, have the right data type, the right format, everything is okay, and then we move on. We're getting an error. What's going on? Home team score prediction. Key error. Home team score prediction. Home team score prediction. There's nothing like a home team score prediction. What happened? Home team full time score. Okay, so this is supposed to be home team full time score. How did I get that wrong? Whole team. So I know it seems like I'm rushing through this video, but I have so much to cover, and I think this part of the project would become redundant because I'm planning on moving to APIs. Okay, and I'm planning on creating new models to scan user bets, like past predictions, as I already said at the beginning of the video. And that's where I want to catch up so that I can have people understand and contribute to the project. So that's the plan. So I'm just skimming through this particular part of the project because it's it was the foundation, it was the beginning of the idea, and now I've noticed better ways of doing things, so I want to just focus more on the phase 2 of the project. But I feel like if anything, if phase 2 doesn't work out as planned, we can always fall back on phase 1 where we scrape the data. Okay, so you can go through the code yourself and then make sense of it. It's very straightforward. I think phase 2 is more complicated, and so yeah, so all these parts are just feature engineering, making sure and label encoding. I think this is also important because when we finally reach the script where we run the models, we would have to switch the team. Okay, so let me explain. When we are done training the model, this part won't make sense to human beings, so we would have to encode some of the values, not necessarily the home team and away team, but the team to win, right? The x and the ones and the twos. We would have to first convert the x to, I think I did it to a 2, I don't really remember, but we would have to make sure that the computer can read an x, so we encoded it into a numerical label, and then when we are done, we have to change it back to an X when we are printing the results of the model. Okay, so the model will look at new data, make predictions, right? The predictions will be a 1 or 0 if they think a particular bet would win or a particular tip would be successful. So I'll show you that in the next video. I think that'll be the what I'll run through. I'll show you the way the database also looks like. So yeah, it's basically it. What's happening? I didn't label encoder. Did I? Do I have label encoder? Yes. Did I run this? Yes. I don't think I ran it. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so so this is basically it. It's straightforward. Here we just validate, make sure that all the columns are in their right data type, and then we have our table. Our table is ready to be pushed into the database, and this is the part where you persist. So that's basically it. All you have to do is just, if you're going to use MySQL, it will be MySQL Workbench. Will be simple for now. All you have to do is replace these parts with your database information. If you have any questions, any ideas, just comments below. I know this was a lot. So yeah, and the test data is basically the same thing. We are not done with the training data. Okay, so after scraping from Forebet, we have to now go to Sofascore and scrape all this table information, which we will merge with the data we just scraped from Forebet. Okay, so the idea is that before the matches are played, we need to get the stats of the teams and then merge them. We would merge them with the teams that are going to be playing. Okay, so we have the stats before the match and then we have the stats after the match. That will help make the model more accurate. So now we are going to scrape data from Sofascore, and the script is also in the training data. This is the script scraping from Sofascore. I should have named it that way, but you would run these scripts either way. So let's just get straight into it. So it follows the same process, and also as I stressed on, make sure you maximize the window for the scraping data. The scraping data. Hold up. Make sure you maximize the window for the scraping data, or else you might get different values. So yes, you start with installing certain packages and libraries. Let's go. So open the WebDriver, and as I said, make sure you maximize. If you have any errors with the Chrome driver, you can go to Selenium, or you just give me a message. I'll probably help you. So yeah, let me see if this has loaded. What's going on? Oh, the driver is open, but I didn't pass in the website. Okay. So this is how it looks like. Make sure you maximize and then you can minimize. Okay, when I say maximize, I mean the window has to fill the whole screen. So we run this code, we would get the data, and then when we are done we can quit the driver, so this thing will disappear. And so it follows the same. This is quite simpler than the, because we don't do a lot of cleaning. As you notice that there's a slash n between the data we want, except maybe for this part, but then it's easily handled by the notebook. All you have to do is just run. So you can even run the whole thing from the beginning, run all the cells. But so we also made sure we label the teams. So this label, this dictionary matches the one for the Sofascore, the script that we ran previously. And then yes, so for this one interesting thing about this notebook was that we had to calculate points per game from using this string, this WW. So this data, we had to convert it to numerical format. The idea is that we will just add, what this represents is a 3, so we just add each other and then divide by 5. So this will be a 0. So 0 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3, and then we'll divide by 5. That's simple and straightforward. And we make sure that we put all of them in one index for the array. So as you can see here, they were separated. They all occupy different index, but we want to push them together. What else did I do? So that's basically it. Then you connect them to your database. Let me open the database to show you how they would look like. We would, once we have the data from Forebet and the data from Sofascore, we would merge them together using, we would run a script that would merge them together using SQL. I'll show that in the next video. The prediction model. So these are the tables. We have the tables. Okay, so this is it. So as you can see, so the completed matches was the data from from Forebet. Okay, so this is how it will look like. And then the data from Sofascore for the training data would be called previous week league standings. Okay, and this is how it looks like. Simple as, by running those two scripts, this is what we get in our database. So that's it for this video. Yeah, if you have any questions, just send them my way.